Excuse me, Missy, but I don't believe this is your land to be sitting on.
What?
You heard me. What are you doing sitting here on someone else's land?
I'm reading this book. What about you? This isn't your land either. What are you doing here?
Admiring you.
Well, I do believe that is illegal around here.
Legal? Impossible. God can't help but to make such a wonderful looking creature like you. It makes no sense that you don't have wings. You're like an angel.
Shut up, you silly boy. Here, read this. It's a good book about the future and stuff. It's real interesting.
No. I don't like that stuff.
Why? Because it's not interesting? Or because you can't make out the words on the page?
I just don't want to lose your place, that's all.
Nolan, you'll never get any better if you don't try.
I am better. I'm better than all these people in this town. Because right now, I'm with you. And they're not.
I'm serious, Nolan. You've got to learn how to read. What am I going to do with you when you can't read the Bible or anything else? I'm not going to read to you. Fine. We'll talk about something else now, okay? Well, remember when I told you that my mom found out about us? And you asked me how she found out and I promised I'd tell you later? Well, we were sitting on the front porch, snapping green beans for supper, when she started asking me all kinds of questions about that nice boy I've been tutoring. Well, I started to tell her another lie about you and your family. But I just couldn't do it. I had to tell her about you. About us. And once I got started, it just all came out. I was so afraid of what she would do if I gave her the chance, so I just kept talking and talking. And she just sat there and looked at me. Finally, she said, "Sarah Denise." And I just stopped right there because I knew she meant business. I was so afraid of what she was going to do next.
Well, what'd she do?
She reached over to take my hands, and my hands were just shaking. I thought she was really going to yell at me, but she didn't. She just looked at me like nothing I've ever seen before. Finally, she asked me what you were like. I couldn't believe it.
What'd you tell her?
Well, I told her that you're silly and kind, and I never felt like this about anybody before. We talked a long time. When it was time to go in and make supper, she told me not to lie to her anymore, and she told me to be really careful. Because if my daddy finds out, he'll make a mess out of me.
A mess?
Well, as of right now, he still thinks you're colored. He knows that I sometimes meet a boy to read with. But you remember my friend Tanya, don't you? Well, he thinks you're her second cousin. His only problem is that you never come to visit him.
So he still asks me over?
All the time. The last time he thought you were fixing to come over, I told him that your great uncle had gotten really sick, and you and your family had to go to Galveston to see him. He was disappointed, but he believed me.
That was close.
Yeah.
My mom saw me looking at you downtown last Tuesday. We were just leaving Chiller's Pharmacy, and I saw you and your mom. And I thought I was being really, really careful. But I guess my mom saw me staring at you. She kind of looked back. She got this really ugly tone in her voice and said, "Son, you picking out a maid already? Shouldn't you wait till you get your own house first?" And then she waited for me to laugh. I didn't laugh.
Our preacher says that ignorance has no color, just evil eyes and a cold heart.
It's a smart man. You been going to church?
Every Sunday and Wednesday night. You?
Yeah. You been wearing that real pretty dress?
Sometimes.
You know I hate that dress. Shows off your knees. I don't like everyone looking at your knees.
Boy, you are silly. Why can't you like something normal? Like my eyes or my chest or my hips.
I do. I like all those things. There's just something to be said about a girl that has really, really, really pretty knees.
I think you're crazy. What about your dad?
What about him?
Does he know about me yet?
He knows. We were fishing one day by the lake, and I just couldn't hold it in. Tell me about the first time he and my mom met, and how he met his first love. I thought I might have to tell my little story too. About how we first met, and how we meet here every week. I got to the part and told him that you weren't white. He said, "Son, that part of the story is irrelevant to me." And he promised not to tell my mama, because if she knew, she'd go crazy. He told me about this one time when she had to get a ride home with one of my Uncle Joe's farmhands because Joe's truck wouldn't start. When she found out that the farmhand was colored, she stomped back in the house. She finally came back out. She was wearing a coat and a scarf. And she even went back inside for a baseball bat. It took my uncle about an hour to get her back into the truck. She must have been thinking something weird, because it was like 90 degrees outside. She must have thought she'd get color people's disease or something. I don't know. All I remember is that it was the middle of summer, and she came home, ranting and raving and dripping in sweat about how horrible the ride home was, and how she almost didn't make it. I guess she thought the colored man was trying to get her.
Well, remember how we discussed this being our secret?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have told your daddy. I mean, it's bad enough I told my mama. This makes me nervous.
Don't be. We're fine. Let's not spend our time together worrying about stuff. Let's talk about something good. What do you think we should have first? A son or a daughter?
Kids? Already? Nolan, you probably don't even know how that's done.
Yes, I do. My daddy told me. We're at the lake. He says the secret to getting women is toes. Toes will always get him, he says. Whenever he rubs my mom's toes, I hear it and she goes crazy.
Really? Well, you can't touch my toes until we're both 25. What color will they be?
Same as the rest of you, I assume.
No. I mean our children. If you're as light as you are, and me as dark, they'll probably be like those people who come from Mexico. They'll be in between, just right colored, like the sand in the schoolyard. Our children will be Mexicans. Isn't that strange?
Not as strange as you.
Tell me how you wake up in the morning. What do you do first?
I open my eyes.
Me too.
And then I stretch my whole body out. I get up and then I put my cap on and clothes and scarf, and then I go down and eat some butter toast. What about you? What do you do in the mornings?
Well, after opening my eyes, I head straight to the bathroom. Sometimes I take a bath if I didn't the night before. On those mornings, I think about you. But I don't wonder if you're awake or not. I mostly think about what you look like in your bath if the rest of you's as white as these here arms and legs. Is that a dirty thing to think?
Dirty? No. And just so you don't have to wonder, I'm even whiter underneath these clothes.
Oh, but I like wondering. Young man, what do you have to say for this here color girl in your arms? Are you mad? Are you insane? Are you blind?
No, officer. As a matter of fact, I was just on my way to my weekly KKK meeting. We're burning 4 crosses tonight. Isn't that great? As for this girl here, I don't even know who she is. And how about you, Missy? Don't you have a tall, dark, handsome boy you could go with? Why? This here boy has beady little eyes and lips like pencils. How can he support you if he can't even give you a goodnight kiss?
Well, officer, you're mistaken there. See, my man's got it all in the technique. Size? It don't matter to me. When you're as classy as a gal as I am, you realize that everybody's got 2 skins. One that gets old and wrinkled and cut, and one that gets stronger with time and never bruises or sags. See, the first kind of skin is the kind you see. And we as human beings been acting like that's all there is. People afraid to look beyond what don't have pigment and mass.
Well, ma'am, you're a smart cookie.
Nolan, I want to kiss you. A real kiss.
Real kiss? What do you mean? Are you still just fooling around?
No, not at all.
What do you mean by real kiss?
One of those kisses that you have to hold your breath on. Like when Red kissed Scarlet. Except you don't get to jerk me around and swallow my head like he does hers. We'll do it together.
Okay.
Maybe this is a bad idea. Not just yet.
Bad idea? We sit here and spend time together with our bodies just sprawled out on each other. And we laugh and we talk. And a kiss is going to make us feel uncomfortable? I think not. In fact, we should get naked. Yes, naked. We owe it to ourselves.
Nolan, shut your mouth. We're not getting naked.
Okay. No skin. But just close your eyes. Sit back. I'll come in slow. I won't close my eyes until our lips meet. That way I don't kiss your nose.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, I'm ready. Do it slow, okay?
Okay. done that before.
Never.
You tricked me. I thought you were going to be a prude with me.
You should know me better than that. When I say I want something, I don't back down. I just wanted to let you feel like a man for a moment, that's all.
For a moment was right. For the rest of the time, I felt like the woman.
Did you feel my tongue?
Yeah. It was great.
Well, it's getting late.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You have school tomorrow.
I don't care. Because right now I have you.
Will you be here tomorrow?
You always ask me that, but for some reason I wouldn't show up. Every week I go fishing, and every week I'll be here. For the rest of my life if I have to.
It's just, sometimes I get scared that you won't show up. And when I see you in town, I wonder if you don't look at me because you've forgotten.
I do look at you. You're not looking. As much as I like your knees, I also like to see you live. I like to see what you've bought in that day, or what shoes you're wearing, or if the sun's making your eyes squint, or if you have a new hairdo. How can I forget my past? How can I forget my future?
Now you're being corny.
I know. But it's true. I love you.
I love you too.
Same time next week?
Yeah.